The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another kick-ass episode of Still Toking with. Yeah, you already know who I am, but that's okay, because the show's not about me. Nope, it's not. But with that being said, the man that brings the flash every week, Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Well, howdy, hello, cats and kittens. Yeah, hey, we're on a different day and time. Wow, that's so special for a very special reason and a very special guest. So we're going to be on twice this week. In fact, is this the first time we've been on twice in 1 week?
Yes.
Special. Well, happy Thanksgiving week if you're watching us live, and if you're watching us later, I hope it was good for you. And I just can't wait to get started. So let's make sure we bring in the other host, the voice in your head, the handsome guy from Massachusetts, Jeff Holman.
See, I'm the handsome one.
I thought I just said that. I could have sworn I heard my own voice.
Well, that means Ben. That means Ben's not.
This
That's
week.
Okay.
I alternate.
Okay. That's okay. It's late. I'm a little punchy. I apologize to everybody ahead of time. So this ought to be interesting.
Right.
It is Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. And then we'll be on again Friday. Yeah, I'll be on again Friday at 8:00, continuing this quick little series for a very special occasion.
Yes, 4 shows in 3 weeks.
4 shows in 3 weeks. Yeah. I'm gonna shut the fuck up and bring in
it's
Rachel
about time.
Greenbush.
Hi.
There she is.
Oh, well, I'm glad you decided to shut up.
Yeah, well,
I mean, geez.
don't
6
expect
minutes.
me to do that for the next hour.
6 minutes into the show, I mean, I thought you were just going to keep going all night. It's all right.
I had dates like that.
Oh, geez.
I think we all have.
Boy.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Is it hot in here?
Okay. So anyway, welcome to the show, Rachel. I hope you have a lot of fun with us. That ought to be
Thank you.
interesting.
It's so fun. It's a pleasure to be here.
So go ahead, Ben. I know you want to jump right in.
No, go ahead.
No,
All right,
well,
both of you. So
no, wait a minute. I'm going to be a dick. Okay, no, I am because I have to disclose something.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I apologize to everybody because this is probably bad in a lot of people's eyes, but I have never seen an episode of Little House on the Prairie.
I'm glad you
Sheltered
came
life.
prepared, Jeff. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sheltered
Well,
life.
lucky for you, it is streaming on Amazon Prime and other places, so you can catch up at any time.
Well, I just wanted
Go ahead.
that.
Tell 'em.
I wanted to get that out there. You know what I mean? And so I can't say whether the show sucked or whether it was awesome, but I'm going to assume it was awesome because not too many shows get a 50th anniversary party.
Yeah, let's go
Right.
with awesome.
Right. I mean, and see, I'm on the other side of the coin where I've seen probably every episode numerous times because my mother was one of those very faithful Little House on the Prairie watchers. So I grew up watching it and I liked it. It had a great storyline. The cast was amazing. Especially that girl that played Carrie Ingalls. She was really good. I can't remember her name.
She was my favorite.
She was one of my favorites.
But wasn't it the other one?
Yeah, my sister and I are twins, so there was actually two of us. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I know that.
And you
that's
did do one episode together. One.
Yes.
The Godsister. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And folks, that's one of the reasons why there's 2 shows this week. There's another set of identical twins that also played in the cast, but that's for Friday. Tonight is about Rachel in Sydney, but she's not here. It's just Rachel.
But you'll give her our love, yes?
I will. I promise. I'll give her your love.
All right. So one of my favorite stories that you can tell about the show is you met someone very special to you on the set who you didn't know was going to be special because you were a little girl. He was a teenager. And then you re-met at the same place. You tell the story because I love the ending.
Okay. Well, Danny, he had eyes for Melissa, and he actually used to come on the set with his friends. And he tried to set up his friend Chris with Melissa Gilbert. And they used to hang out with Allison and joke around with Allison. And he had Allison go get Melissa so he could set Melissa up with Chris. And Chris got all shy and ran away, ran over the hill, ran down the hill, ran off the set, disappeared. And then we were filming the wolves, and it was the scene where Mary's churning the butter, and they were facing towards the barn, and we were all sitting underneath the oak tree that's over by Plum Creek. And they broke to move the camera and change the angle. And when they did, we all had to leave from underneath the tree because they were going to shoot that direction now at Mary's face. And so Danny walked by me and he said hello. And I said hello to him. And he was 14 and I was 7. And that was when we first technically met. Now, he hung out on the set a lot, but like I said, he really had eyes more for Melissa and Allison at that time because they were closer in age. And then I moved, the series ended. I moved away, he moved away. We kind of trailed each other and then ended up reconnecting 30 years later and then in 2007.
Wow.
And then we started dating in 2008. We got married underneath the oak tree where we first met on the set in Temple Canyon on Big Sky Ranch in 2014. And the rest has just been, so much fun, just a grand adventure. Time has passed so fast.
And we're talking about Danny Sanchez, her husband.
We're talking about Danny Sanchez, my husband. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I love that story.
Did you tie a yellow ribbon around it?
No, we didn't do that, but we did stand on the rock. Somebody posted a picture of the rock that's there, and our friend who married us stood on that rock as a preacher and married us right by Plum Creek.
That's cool.
Wow.
And just to complete the story, Rachel, where do you live right now?
Simi Valley.
Yeah. And like how many feet away from that tree do you actually live almost?
Within miles.
Yeah. Because it feels like home. Why wouldn't it if you got married there?
It did. When I moved back to Simi in 2000, I had lived a lot of different places trying to figure where I fit in. Where was my corner of the sky? So I moved around a lot. I was in Arizona. I tried out Arkansas. I lived in New Mexico. But when I moved back to Simi Valley, it instantly felt like home. And that was before Danny and I reconnected. But something told me, I just knew this is where I was supposed to be. And it's always felt like home.
Excellent.
I have a question for you. Is there any way that anybody can tell if they watch the episodes which one of you two is actually in that episode?
Yes. So my sister's features are a little bit finer, and her cheeks and her nose. And so when we're little, I was a little bit chubbier and rounder faced. So when you look at us, you can tell, mostly I tell by the nose, because Robyn has a really like kind of petite, finer features than I do. Her face is more oval and my face is more round. And I'm a little broader in the shoulders and she's a little taller than me. So those are kind of all the physicalities. And then as we get older, Robyn had a gap in her teeth. She had a space between her two front teeth, and I didn't. But she was still continued to be like a little finer featured than I am.
It's interesting because like Bewitched, our friend, everybody's friend, Erin Murphy,
Carrie.
that she and her sister Diane would trade off when they were very little. But if you were in a room with them now, like I have been, they look, I mean, you can barely tell they're even sisters, never mind twins.
Yeah. And Robyn and I have, or Sydney and I have, we've grown kind of like that too, where your independent personalities kind of develop as you grow. And so for me, probably because I am a twin, when I look to tell other twins apart, usually I look at the way they carry themselves, their physical nature. And then you can usually tell them apart, whether, one's stronger or softer, just the way they carry themselves.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Do you get tired of telling the story of how you came to the show?
No, I think it's a great story.
Well, so we know your father, Billy, is a very famous actor who did wonderful films. And so you're second generation, or is there more behind that?
No, I'm second generation. Yeah, my dad, he was born in Montgomery, Alabama, and his mom used to take him to the movie theater to see the Westerns, and he wanted to be, a cowboy like Roy Rogers. And so he left Alabama, and they moved out to Garden Grove, and he went to Garden Grove College and stuff like that, studying acting. And then he felt like he had learned all that he could learn from the college. And so he went to New York and studied in New York in theater and stuff like that. And then came back to LA. And when he was here in LA, he started to really get some good roles, like 5 Easy Pieces and Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. And he had done Gunsmoke and Bonanza and was really coming up. And he was at an agent. He was talking to a friend of his. Milt Cogan was a doctor, but he really wanted to be an actor. And so Milt had asked my father if he thought, he would be good at acting, if they would be interested in him. And my dad told him, yeah, I think you have a great face. You'd be a great character actor. I think you'd be really good at it. If you want, I can set up an interview for you to read for my agent and see if she'll take you on if you want. And Milt said, yeah, that'd be great. Would you do that? And so my dad did. He talked to his agent and set up an appointment. Well, Milt went to the appointment and was in the waiting room waiting to read for the agent to see if they would take him on and send him on interviews. And when he was there, a phone call came in to the receptionist, and she kind of argued. She was like, but I have this, but, and then she got off the phone and she was kind of frustrated. She looked at Milt and she's like, they're casting this movie, but they want twins, but I have the perfect little girl for them, but they're insisting that they want twins. And he goes, what age? And she goes, like, between 2 and 3 years old. And he said, well, Billy Greenbush has twin daughters that age. He's in this office. You might give him a call and see if he's interested in it. And so she's like, oh, that's great. Thank you. And she did. And my mom answered the phone, and they asked her if she wanted to bring us in on the interview. And she did. So she brought us in, and we met Joe Sargent, and Joe Sargent cast us in the role of Sunshine. Mm-hmm. And Sunshine was also based on a true story. And then Michael saw that, and Michael had us come in and read for Little House on the Prairie. Well, it wasn't really a read because, at 3 years old, you can't really read. But he took us in. My mom curled our hair, made us all cute, and took us to the interview to meet Michael. And then he said, oh, no, their hair's all wrong. Do you always curl it? Because he wanted it to be all straight. And she's like, no. So she pulled it down. And then he said, well, can I take them in the room? And she said, yes. And so we went in the room with Michael, and I'm sure he wanted to see how workable we were, if we would like sit on his lap and interact with him and not be afraid to be away from our mother and stuff like that. And then he really could work with us. And so then he hired us to do Little House on the Prairie. And my brother is 2 years older than me. And my mom said when he was 2 years old, he was all go, 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 go. So she was trying to take care of twin daughters and my brother, who was 2 at the time. So anytime anybody ever said that Robyn and I or Sidney and I were cute, she would toss us at them and say, yeah, you want to hold them? Yeah, you want to hold them? Here. Like that. So it ended up working out in the end because we weren't afraid to be held by strangers. So when Michael wanted to take us away from our mom, we were like, okay, here we go. Whatever. Cool. We didn't cry. And so that enabled him to be able to put us in front of the camera and work with us.
Oh. So how did they decide which one of the two of you they were going to use for certain scenes? If one was being nasty and just being a little bitch, then they use the other one?
Yes. Yeah, they'd be like, you're out of here. Bring the other one. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They would do that. If one was a grump, yeah, they're like, let's get the other one. We were replaceable and interchangeable in every sense.
Did that bother the two of you? Was there ever like any friction? Like, oh, what about me? My turn.
The only time we ever did that was the Godsister, because we both wanted to be the Godsister. But they ended up dividing up the scenes. But Robyn got a little more screen time as Alyssa than I did. I got chased by a spider. That's what I got.
It's glamorous work, let me tell you, folks.
I never knew before then you could like hurt a spider. They did. They had it in to the side, and they were filming the spider as I was running by the green screen, and they were kind of like hurting it out of the frame to make it turn and go towards me. It was really kind of very interesting experience.
They actually have a spider herder, and I'm not making a joke.
A spider wrangler, yeah. They did.
Job description: spider wrangler. All right.
Who are you close to on the set?
We were really close to Melissa, because when we first started the show, we weren't in school. And so they kind of made like a little preschool in our dressing room with books and puzzles and stuff like that. And Melissa would come and read books to us when she wasn't in school or on the set or during her lunch. And you can see in the early years, a lot of times she reaches down and she grabs my hand. She was always like really sweet and looking out for us all the time.
No wonder she became the president of the union.
Yeah.
She held a lot of our hands and made things better.
Right. So, folks, what we want to tell you is 50th anniversary, 50 years. There's a reunion coming up in December, Simi Valley, California, December 12th through the 14th, where you can meet a ton of the cast. I actually have a picture I'm going to throw up real quick here, but this is just some of the cast members that'll be there and some that you'll see on the shows over the next few weeks. Check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. All the information for tickets and everything else is there, including Rachel's information. You know, home phone. No, I'm just kidding.
Home phone, private email.
No. Her husband would not smile at that at all.
Oh, no.
He wouldn't.
all our agents and PR firms that work with us know that would never happen. So
it will be really fun. It's really kind of Christmas themed for the holidays. Santa's going to be there. There's going to be a tree decorating. I heard that there was going to be some live music. Karen's going to do a presentation. I'm going to do a presentation. Allison and Dean are both doing presentations on different days where you can ask them questions and hear stories about Little House on the Prairie. And then, of course, there's meet and greets. There's a dinner the first night, which is an exclusive. You have to buy tickets to that. But it's going to be a really good, a lot of fun because of the holidays. And it's all based around Christmas.
Right.
Which is perfect for that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Christmas at Plum Creek is one of my favorite episodes to this day. Jeff, you'll have to go watch it because you're missing out on that one. That's really good.
I'm gonna have. I'll pick what I think would be an interesting one for me to get me started. I know there's 180, 190 episodes.
The pilot's a great one to start. It's one of the best.
Yeah, you got to start at the beginning.
But that's too standard. You don't start with the pilot. Jump in the middle. Find out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, you could do that too. You could do that too.
I've always found it interesting that Little House is this bastion of Christian Americana of a certain era, and it's very specific, and yet the people in charge of it were Jewish.
Yeah.
And, I've always found that fascinating.
It's
that, because those of you who don't know, Michael Landon was Jewish. And, being a Jewish boy myself, I'd watch the show or other things produced by Michael and go, he's got this down pat. How did he figure this out?
I don't know how he figured it out, but when we would be singing in church, sometimes there would be a break between shots, and he'd look at Melissa a lot. And he'd go, "How come the two Jews are the only ones that know all the words to the songs?"
Oh boy.
What was your relationship with Michael like? I never got to meet Michael, so I only know people who knew him, and I hear lots of different things about him.
I would sure like to know him now as an adult to an adult, because when a relationship from adult to adult is so much different than from adult to child. Mm-hmm. But I always had a good relationship with Michael. Michael was a very, very busy man, and he never stopped working. And on his lunch breaks, he'd be writing other scripts and having other ideas. And after we were done shooting, if we were on location in Tucson, he'd be sitting by the pool writing another script or another story or thinking about things. So he really was a workaholic a lot. So because of that, and he always had everybody break at like 5 or 6 o'clock every day so they could go home and have dinner with their families. We didn't work late a lot of times, or most of the time, unless it was dictated in the script to do so. So like time was money. He hustled. He got everything done, everything wrapped up so that people could go home and be with their families. So the demands on him were so strong. I didn't really get to have a super interpersonal relationship with him, but I always had a really good one. And he just loved to make us kids laugh. He expected you to know your lines, be ready, know the story, and not hold up production. But at the same time, we used to catch frogs in Plum Creek because it was a recirculating pump. So when we weren't using the circulating pump, the water would just sit in it, and the frogs loved to be in there. And so we would go catch frogs, and we would take them to Michael, and he would put them in his mouth, and he would walk up to people and let the frog jump out. And us kids, we would just howl with laughter and think that was so funny. Or you would be doing a scene, like a dinner scene, and I'd be sitting next to Melissa Gilbert, and it would be a 2-shot, like on her and I, right? And she would be giving her lines, and Michael would be off camera to the side so that she could talk to him and do her lines. And he would know that he already got the shot that he wanted, but he wouldn't say like print or anything like that. He just let, Melissa keep stumbling and improvising and trying to carry and pretty soon he'd pick up like peas or carrots, and he'd start like flicking them at us and throwing them at us. And I'm looking up at Melissa like, what do I do? What do I do? Like trying to follow her lead. And finally he just bust out laughing, and then Melissa would too. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, we're just kidding. Like but he was always playing jokes. So there was a time to work, but he kept this set lighthearted.
All right.
You've mentioned all the demands on him. What were the demands on you and your sister like on the set? I've known like every child actress since Rosemary, so I've heard these stories generationally from kid actors. So kid actor to kid actor, what was it like for you being small and you are working? What was that like for you?
I was born into it, so I really thought it was just something everybody did. I was in school with like Keith Mitchell. Well, he's Keith Coogan, Jackie Coogan's grandson. We went to school together. So, and the Rondell family who does stunts, and the Charlie Sheen was just so many years ahead of me in school. We were still hearing all his rumors from what he did in Malibu, and it was just something I thought everybody did. So I really didn't think of it as being demanding, other than sometimes when your time was not your own and you wanted, maybe your friend was having a birthday party and you got to go promote the show kind of thing. So, but I didn't have as many demands on me as, Melissa Gilbert or Melissa Sue, who had way more lines and screen time. But, you have to be there and be set ready at 8 a.m. in your costume and everything. And then you go straight to school if they don't need you, but you still got to be there at your call time, which was usually 8 a.m. So it's early mornings, long drive home, long days. If you finish in front of the camera and your schoolwork's not finished, because you have to do 3 hours a day in addition to being in front of the camera, you have to stay and finish your school before you can go home. And if you finish your school before you're finished in front of the camera, then of course you have to stay and be in front of the camera. But we used to sit under the trees and play backgammon and stuff and wait for our scenes and stuff like that. And we loved to steal dry ice from the cooler and go throw it in the pond and watch it smoke. And it was like growing up on a ranch. It was really fun.
Oh, I was reading, and I want you to verify if this is even correct, that the credits at the time were for a Lindsay Sidney Greenbush. They didn't credit you individually during that time?
They never did. But what is really interesting is my father, his real legal name is William Warren Bush, but his great grandfather was Green William Bush. And that was name that had been handed down generation to generation in his side of the family. But my grandmother decided to name him Warren instead, and he always hated the name Warren. So when he became an actor, he put Green back in his name as a tribute to his great-grandfather. So he became Billy Greenbush, and Green was like a middle name. So when we did the pilot, it's Lindsay Sidney Green, which is separate, and then Bush on the pilot. And that's how my very first work permit is. It's Lindsay Green Bush, just like my father's, a separate name. And when we went to do the series, they made Greenbush one name. And it forever stayed that way. Well, at least for me and my sister, my dad still has it as a separate name, Billy Green Bush. And I don't know why they did that. Maybe they had a limited amount of characters and they had to take the space out, but they never used an and either. So I still have people to this day that don't know that the Carrie was played by twins, that there was twin girls.
Well, now they do, because that's part of the show.
Yeah. It's very common because of child labor laws. So children working in the entertainment industry are exempt from federal labor laws. And it is up to each and every state to pass laws that protect the children living or working in the entertainment industry. And that's why a lot of shows go outside of California to states that don't have protective laws for children, because then they can get away with a lot more. But California was one of the first. So when I was young, they did have laws. So children working in the entertainment industry that were as young as I was can only work 4 hours a day. So what they do is they call the first twin in at 8, and they work their 4 hours if needed, 4 hours. And then they cut for lunch, and then they bring the second one in after lunch, and they can still get a full day shoot using 2 girls. And that's why they do that.
Makes
but
sense.
Really nobody's watching. And if one twin wakes up grumpy for the nap, they'll use the first twin again. If one twin has a cold, they'll use the second twin all day long. So it's
otherwise,
what are they going to say? They're going to go, "Oh, gee, I'm sorry. I mixed them up. I thought it was another twin."
I thought it was Lindsay. No, I'm sorry.
My bad.
And I think for children under 18 months, it's even more restrictive because they don't want the harsh lights in little babies' eyes.
Correct.
So
you are correct.
It's another reason why they would use twins, because you can only keep the child, I think, for 10 minutes under the lights, and they must be taken away. So,
right. You're absolutely right. That's correct.
Yeah.
There was no such law on the stage in New York. Trust me. I've worked 12-hour days, and I was underage, and nobody cared.
Oh, well, they do have laws now, so they've gotten better.
Rachel, that was a very, very long time ago.
Yeah. Now we need labor laws for the adult
Watch it.
over 50 club.
Over 50 club. Okay.
I'll go with the over 50 club, because then I can put myself in there. I won't get beat up by 2.
As long as you're being inclusive, I will back off.
Jeff and Jeffrey would be chasing me with their damn walkers.
I'm the oldest citizen in this group, so the age things always come my way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Directed
so this, apropos of nothing really, why did they give you girls different first names? Why stage first names? Your real first names are beautiful.
All our friends called us Rachel and Robyn. So our names are Rachel, Lindsay, Rene. I guess my mom really couldn't settle on names. So it's Rachel, Lindsay, Rene, and Sidney, Robyn, Danae. But I guess because of the twin thing, we grew up being called Rachel and Robyn. So a lot of times I refer to my sister Sidney as Robyn, because that's what we've always called her. But her real legal first name is Sidney.
Okay.
Right.
And mine is Lindsay. I was named after the poet Rachel Lindsay. That's who my mom named me after.
Wow.
Well, because I was doing some research and I'm like, what the fuck is up with these names? It's like all these names.
Right? And Allison likes to tease me all the time. She's like, "What name? Who are you today? What's your name?" And
Well,
Michael
Rachel-
used to call us the bunch. That was his. He's like, "Get the bunch." That's what he used to call us.
Well, I will say, because obviously, whether I watch the show or not, I still do my research. And I typed in Rachel, but it gave me Lindsay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why my mom chose to use my middle name for the show. Maybe because it rhymed with Sydney better, Lindsay and Sydney, rather than Rachel and Sydney. I'm not sure why she made that decision.
Interesting. So,
right.
I'm like, okay, well, what's she going to put on the screen as her name? There you have it.
When I started working after Little House, I really wanted to incorporate my first name into, I didn't want to get rid of Greenbush because of my father. It was already so established and so many people knew him, and we had Little House and Sunshine already and done commercials and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to lose the Greenbush, but I did want to start going by my first name. So when I did Matt Houston after Little House, I had them bill it as Rachel Greenbush and started to try and incorporate my first name in there.
Right.
Excellent.
I was actually going to lead into that because you guys broke away from Little House and then you started doing commercials, Double Mint Gum, Mattel Toys, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, like, these are big named commercials, but then you guys both decided to call it quits and go back to school. Was there a specific reason for that, or just enough was enough?
Well, we really got into horses. We loved horses, and we would ride horses every day after school. But, like I said earlier, I was trying to find out, do I want to be an actor? I was born into my father's career. Mm-hmm. Is that something I want to do? Do I want to continue this? Who am I? Well, what's my thing in life? But I ended up, when I was 13, really, really wanting to ride for the U.S. Olympic equestrian team doing show jumping. And so I started training a lot for that. And I started cleaning stalls and riding, exercising other people's horses in exchange for lessons and stuff like that. So that kind of really shifted in middle school and on into high school. And that was more of my focus. And I felt like that resonated with me more. I really was good with horses and good at riding them.
Oh, nice. So you've mentioned a couple of times during this interview that you really wanted to try to find out who you were, where you fit, and things like that. So I'm assuming that you have found that.
Yeah, I found that now. It was a journey. There was so much that happened to me when I was little that I don't think I could process at the time. And so I really kind of went on this journey of reconciling everything that happened. So I started in the 90s, we started doing these cast reunions. And I think one of the very first ones we did was hosted by Kent and Sue McRae in 1997. And Sonora used to have a film festival. I don't know if they have it anymore. And so they invited us to be guests for the film festival. So Karen went, Charlotte went, Leslie Landon was there. My sister was there. Gil Gerard was there. There was a lot of people there. Melissa Gilbert was there. And when we started doing these in the downtime, I started asking questions. Karen and Dean and Charlotte, and started talking to them about Michael's style of directing and different facets of the show. And, I never knew that he had to turn around and have each episode done in like 10 days and ready to air. I mean, that's just such a tight schedule. And he was always thinking of the next thing. So it really helped me kind of come to terms. Michael was like Superman to us kids. I mean, you never thought anything would happen to him. And it was, when he passed away, it was one of the first things in my life. I was 21. and it just really rocked me to the core. And I didn't know how to emotionally process it, and so I got angry for a long time and just kind of like pushed it away and pretended I was mad at it. But through talking to a lot of my castmates, there was a healing and a journey, and it was a really fun journey. I ended up going to Oklahoma and being inducted into Great Hall of Western Performers in the museum, and got to go with Melissa, and Michael Jr. was there, and that was really fun. So I've really settled, and I think that's one of the things I love about being here in Simi is it really feels like it's part of my anchor. It's part of the earthiness that makes me grounded.
And for those of our friends out there who are wondering where is Simi? Simi is the next valley over from the San Fernando Valley, north and west of Hollywood, just to give them some geography.
It's next to no
that's correct.
Simi,
And
right?
there's so much movie history here. You had, at the time we were filming, it was called Tapo Canyon Ranch. Now it's called Big Sky Ranch. But then you had Corriganville that was over in Santa Susana Pass, close to the Spawn Ranch. And then on down below the Spawn Ranch, Roy Rogers had his ranch. And then you had Iverson Ranch. So there was all kinds of movies like Lassie, The Lone Ranger being filmed all over in the Star Trek as well, all over in this area. You can always tell it by the rocks.
When Captain Kirk is fighting the Gorn, that's where he is, right there.
Now, you know about that, Jeff, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, did you ever feel lost on the prairie?
Lost on the prairie?
Yeah.
No. I fell down a well or an air shaft. But I was lost. They lost me, but I didn't feel lost.
The most random, stupid question will bring up something like that.
Right. Oh, Rachel's being a brat today. Where's the well? Over there. or she didn't fall.
What's that? What's that, Lassie? Rachel's down the well? Okay,
Right.
girl, we'll come get her.
Yeah. Did you ever meet Lassie?
No, I never got to meet Lassie.
No,
I did.
Oh, that's too bad.
I did.
And I wasn't asking you.
Did they have more than one Lassie? We had more than one bandit.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
Like Annie said, there's the main one, there's the one who swims well, there's the one who barks well, there's the backup in case the good one gets ill, and then but there are all one family to the next. They're all bloodly connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we had Bandit's father, and then we had Bandit. I think they were father and son, the two dogs we had.
Mm-hmm.
Apropos of nothing we're talking about, you were on one of my favorite television shows of all time. The show is one of the reasons I went into show business. Tell me about being on To Tell the Truth.
Oh, that was my sister.
Oh,
that was Robyn. That was Sydney. Yeah, that was Sydney.
How?
See, you can't tell them apart. Don't worry.
Sorry about that, folks.
It's okay. I mean, you can do your research, but I don't think I've ever read one article that was 100% correct.
No.
They always mix this up in some regard, so it's okay.
It's on your IMDb, young lady. That's why.
Oh, is
I
it?
got it from. Yeah, that's where I got it.
What's funny is I've asked them. So I don't pay for the service. It used to be free. Now you're supposed to pay for it, but they hold it against me because I don't choose to pay for it. So when I contact them and I say, this needs to be changed because there's some things in there that just aren't true, they treat me like I'm a criminal pretending I'm being me. And I'm like, really, let's get real here. If I was going to pretend I was a celebrity, it would be somebody bigger than Carrie. I'm just saying,
But you know what? Carrie's an icon because the show is an icon. That's why there's this big 50th anniversary publicity about it. People just love this show.
People like Jeff who have never seen the show but have maybe caught the opening, they'll say, "Who's Carrie? Which one is Carrie?" And you can always say the little girl that falls down the hill in the beginning, and they immediately go, "Oh, I know who you're talking about." So
Well,
it forever will be what defines Carrie.
I do know more about the show than you may realize, because during that time, everybody talked about it. I knew who all the characters were. I just never personally watched it. But everybody was, my wife watched it when she was growing up.
Well, I have to say, because Laura was the main character, that it really did resonate stronger with girls that could identify with Laura's age and everything. So I will say that some boys really do love it too. I think it's like kind of the adventures that she goes on, the morals of the story and stuff like that. But it does have a bigger following with girls.
Well, it's a beautifully made show. The quality of the writing, producing, directing, the costumes, every element of the show is, thank you, Michael, is so
on. Yeah.
I was a grown man when the show came out. I was working off Broadway when the show came out, and people would talk backstage about it.
It was really ahead of its time. Mr. Edwards, Victor French, he had his own theme song, right? It's like it wasn't very common, but Michael was so ahead of his time in so many ways, setting the tone with music and stuff like that. He really did a wonderful job and was way ahead of his time. Instead of being like a TV show, it was more like you were watching a movie or something. It was really put together so well.
For Michael to come from where he came, he's a minority, he's Jewish, from New York, Brooklyn, bedwetter, shy, underweight as a kid, and he just blossoms into this, I was going to say cottage industry, but mainstream show business industry all by himself. It's an amazing feat how he transformed himself. That's what I would want to ask him if I could sit down with him. How did you transform this into this? It fascinates me.
I think it was for him. In some regards, I think was a kind of a natural evolution that took on. I think being a track star is where he really started to get his confidence up. You mentioned him being a bedwetter, and in the little docudrama that he did, he does race home from school to beat his friends that are driving home in the car to pull the bed sheets down because his mom would hang him out to embarrass him. And so that led into kind of a track stardom. And I think he gained his confidence there. And then when he was working on Bonanza, he started to explore all the different episodes, right? He started like directing and getting into different facets of it. And I think also on Bonanza, he really saw what the audience craved, what they really wanted, and how to touch them. And so then when he was approached to do Little House on the Prairie by Ed Friendly, he had a platform that was kind of, he could use to bring all those elements to life. And I think his talents grew and blossomed and got stronger during Little House on the Prairie. But I think he already had kind of that vision when he was leaving Bonanza, because he had kind of immersed himself in it and done his homework and learned all those different facets.
I'd also love to ask Ed Friendly, how do you jump from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In to this? I mean, they got nothing in common except quality.
Well, I read an article. It was really his granddaughter put an article out doing a little story about Ed. And I was like so shocked, but loved reading that was the first thing that he produced on his own was Laugh-In, because I loved Laugh-In when I was young. But his daughter used to read the books, and she would love the books so much. And she was sick in her room, and I think he had to fly to New York. And he went in her room to say goodbye to her. and he asked if there was anything that he could get her while he was gone when he comes back. And she said, oh yeah, the new Little House on the Prairie book is coming out. Will you get me the book when you come back? And he said, yes. And he goes, are you reading that book again? And she said, yes. And he said, but you've read it so many times. And she's like, but I just love these books. So then he said goodbye to his daughter and they left the room. And his wife said, you really should do something with these books. You really should do something with these books. The children just love them, and it can be something. So she encouraged him. So he took one of his daughter's books on the plane with him, and he hid it in a magazine because he didn't want anybody to see him reading a children's book on the plane. So he's like this. So when he was reading the book on the plane, he really started to understand why the children loved these books so much. So when he got on the ground, I think he called his lawyer and asked his lawyer to get the rights, to buy the rights to the books. And supposedly he just barely beat Walt Disney to having because Walt Disney was trying to get him too.
Oh,
and
thank God he beat him.
Barely beat Walt Disney at earning the rights to Little House on the Prairie.
I mean, Walt Disney, the person, was dead. You're talking about the company. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that would be the company. Yeah, because Walt was dead. So,
God only knows what they would have done to that.
Right?
I had 17 punchlines. I can't say any of them out loud.
No. There'll be a lot of phone calls if you did.
Yes, there would. Yes, there would. Yes, there would. Another thing. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. This is probably a question you've gotten 1,000 times, but I'm curious, mainly because I want to watch my first episode, and it won't be the pilot. What is your favorite episode?
It's really, really hard for me to pick just one because there are so many really good ones.
Give me two.
Christmas at Plum Creek and Ma's Holiday are two of my very favorites.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the holiday ones, two of the holiday ones. Okay.
Well, Ma's Holiday is not actually based around the holidays. Ma's Holiday is because Ma goes on holiday, and Mr. Edwards babysits the girl.
Isn't that a British thing? Go on holiday? I'm gonna go on holiday. Isn't it a vacation?
Yes, so Ma Pa takes Ma on vacation to give her a break, and we get babysat by Mr. Edwards.
Oh my, I can't.
Hey, I warned everybody at the beginning of the show.
It's just
you fulfilled
literally
every promise, Jeff.
Just pick an episode and watch it, and you'll be like, oh, and then you'll actually go, oh. Now I know why they called her Nasty Nelly. We had Allison on not too long ago.
That
was Dean.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
You got Michael being this standard bearer of quality and excellence and go, 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 go. And then, Melissa becomes the president of the union. And Allison is like a force of nature. I've been friends with Allison for 20 years. The woman is everywhere. She's a huge star in France. She speaks perfect French. In fact, when we go to places together, if you want to gossip, we talk in French to each other under our breaths, so no one understands what we're saying. But do you think all of you, Dean is a friend, you've done so well. I don't just mean you become famous or made money, but as persons, all of you seem to have done really well. Is it Michael's influence of excellence, or is it just coincidence?
I think, I can't say that Michael didn't have an influence on each and every one of us, because there was accountability on the set. You were accountable. But what I think that also in that, we're acting out these stories that have morals to them, that have learning lessons. And I think in acting those out and submersing yourself in them as a character, they rubbed off on you, and they did imprint on you. And I think Michael, I think everybody, Karen had some very tender moments with me off camera when it was just no one was really looking. She really was protective of me and gave me guidance and stuff like that. So I think all of that, we really just were on a good set in general. But I think because you couldn't just get away with things. You had to be accountable. And so there was consequences, if you weren't doing what you were supposed to do, or if you were ruining production or holding up production, because now you're costing them money. So I think all those things, we had to be very grown up at a young age.
Good answer.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the cast alone. You were going to say something? Did I cut you off?
Yeah, I was looking at the dates, 74 to 82.
Yeah.
Is how long Little House ran, right? So you were talking about age and this, that, and the other. And I mean, during that time, I was 11 to 18. So that from a guy's point of view, I would consider that like, you're radical, that's when you're a dick, kind of a teenage boy during those years.
And you never grew out of it.
You know what I mean? Well, no, I mean, the life lessons and, I get all that. I mean, I was watching Gilligan's Island, for Christ's sakes. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, but you weren't watching it for the storyline. We already know.
It was Mary Ann.
I was going to say Ginger.
Yeah. Mary Ann.
Oh, yeah. But I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you, Rachel. I mean, the morals that the show produced was amazing because, like I said, I grew up watching that. I think today's kids
what happened?
I met you.
Laura wasn't perfect, and they didn't write the stories that Laura was perfect. Laura made mistakes. Paul made mistakes, but they learned from it. They got past it. They learned from it, and they strove to be better people. And I think that was really a key element, is that people could relate to them because they weren't perfect. Maybe somebody else was experiencing the same situation, because we did touch on a lot of touchy subjects. And sometimes people were like, I was going through that, but then when I saw how, Laura handled it, it gave me a voice, and I found my voice, and I was able to get out of that situation. Mm-hmm. So I think people could really relate to it because Laura was never made out to be perfect. The Ingalls weren't perfect. And I think that made them more relatable because of that.
Well, there wouldn't have been any conflict if everybody was perfect.
Right.
You weren't in the last season. Was that a happy thing for you or an unhappy thing?
It was bittersweet. I mean, because I was 12 and I was, wanting to do things outside of that. But at the same time, this was my family. This is the family I knew every single day going to work. And so the weird thing about being an actor, and you can probably relate, the weird thing about being an actor is that it's going to come to an end. But when it comes, you're still not ready. But it's coming. It's not going to last forever. You tell yourself that logically. You form these really strong bonds with people. Then that end finally comes and you're like, okay, well, let's all go our separate ways. And it's just really kind of strange. And so it was hard to break those ties. And then nobody really communicated or kept in touch until Melissa had a party and we all went. But we all just kind of disbanded to do other things. And that for me was hard because they were my family. So it was almost like your parents got a divorce and you don't get to see the other part of the family anymore. And it was really kind of weird. And I didn't really realize it until later. But that part of it, just losing them and not necessarily not being in front of the camera for the last season wasn't necessarily hard. It was losing the connection with all the people that I had formed such strong bonds with. And a lot of the kids that were on the show were sons and daughters of the crew. And so we had the same children on the show for all those years. And we all grew up together, went to school together, played backgammon underneath the trees, ate lunch together, got ice creams and threw, dry ice in the pond and stuff like that. So that part was hard. Even though, I don't know, it's coming, but you're not ready for it.
And yet you haven't lost them, because coming up, you're going to see everybody at this wonderful 50th anniversary reunion. I mean, everybody except Michael, of course. Does it feel like 50 years to you, or are you too young to like get what 50 years is?
I'm too young. I'm too young. This show's been around for 50 years, and I was in the pilot, but I'm too young to know what that means. That's the great thing, is that we're all so connected that, I may not see them for a couple months because they're doing other reunions that I'm not going to, or something like that. But when we step in the same room together, it's like we haven't lost any time at all. And the love for one another and the camaraderie is all just comes flooding back. Like it never ended. Like there's been no time away.
That's just wonderful.
Right. So we are getting close to time. So, Mr. Marks, any last questions for this amazing guest before we let her return to her real life?
Good heavens.
Oh, that was a hard question.
No. Narrowing it down to one was the problem. Tell your dad I said hello, first of all.
I will.
Please do. And do you miss performing at all?
I do. I was in the Vagina Monologues with Allison twice. We didn't perform together, but we were on the same night, and that was really fun. And I don't have a lot of theater experience, so it was fun to perform in front of a live audience. That was really fun. I think now I would be a better actress than when I was young, because I have more life experience that I could draw from, and I think I could layer a character better and get more in depth with it. But I do. There's a part of me that does miss performing.
If you ever have a moment where you need to have a really good laugh, this is available on YouTube. Look up Mario Cantone, wonderful, wonderful comedian who does impressions of famous women who should have been in the Vagina Monologues. And he does Betty Davis and Katharine Hepburn and Barbara Streisand doing lines from and you'll cry, you'll laugh so hard.
Oh, I'm going to look that up. That sounds fabulous.
Is that a real thing?
I was waiting.
Crying or vaginas? Which one are you asking about?
When she said it, his face went, what?
I'm sorry, but sometimes women talk enough. I don't need their vaginas monologue. The fuck is that? Holy shit.
Well, maybe if you listen to a vagina, you could spend some extra time with one.
Okay. Mr. Holman.
Yeah.
Before our guest passes out from laughter.
Okay. All right. My last question. What is your favorite flower and why?
I would say roses, because I like to have them all outside of the tea garden, and they smell so beautiful. And my mother's favorite rose was the JFK, the big white rose. And so they remind me of her. And I have some ones outside that are called Welcome Home, and they're bright yellow, and they just make me feel warm. And I love to cut them and bring them in the house and enjoy them.
You know, asshole out there was expecting that question, were they?
No. I wasn't expecting that question. I was like, what is he going to pull out of his ass tonight? Really? Like, he has asked some really strange questions at the end, like, ferrets or squirrels? It's like, what?
But thank you. I like that story about your mom and the roses. That was
that was really cool.
I like it too.
Yeah, I actually have a welcome home outside.
Oh, do you?
that my grandmother planted. This I bought my grandparents' house when they passed. That she planted. It's still blooms.
It's actually the mat he sleeps on when his wife throws him out.
It's a little thorny.
Yeah, it's a little prickly, but they're beautiful, and it just keeps blooming and blooming and blooming and blooming. I just love it.
Right. So generally, I don't ask a last question, but tonight I'm going to, only because our producer of the network is running his show right now, and it's running on similar platforms. So I'm going to ask his question because I haven't asked it in a while. Tell us something that you geek out about. Like, you mentioned that you liked horses, but is there something that not a lot of people know about you? Like, you have a shoe fetish collection or something. What do you geek out about?
Star Wars.
Nice.
Wow.
Star Wars premiered on my birthday in 1977. And I can remember just what a huge deal it was. We all waited in line in Westwood to go see it. And it was just so different than any movie that had come before it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I love Star Wars.
Rachel, when next we connect on any platform or in person, remind me, and I'll tell you the story of watching one of the episodes with George Lucas.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. That sounds like a phenomenal story.
I won't ask if you own a glow stick.
Only if I rub it enough.
Then it becomes a lightsaber. Oh God. All right. Enough about that. Rachel, where do you like interacting with your fans and family, friends on the socials?
Mostly on Facebook. I used to be on Twitter, but I'm not on it anymore. I'm mostly just on Facebook now.
Okay. And folks, remember, check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. That information is there, along with the information for the upcoming final 50th reunion. Simi Valley. Damn, I can't talk tonight. All right. Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Yes, sir.
You know the question.
I know the question. Jeffrey Mark, I just spelled right below my chin over there. If you're just only listening, GEOFFREYMARK on Facebook, Jeffrey Mark Showbiz, all one word, on Instagram, at Jeffrey Mark LinkedIn. And if you like what we're doing here, I have another show that Ben produces and Jeff sprinkles his love all over. GPE, Jeffrey Mark Presents. Jeffrey Mark Plays Ella. Every week we play the music of the great Ella Fitzgerald on a theme, and I tell you all kinds of insider stories about how the music was made, why it's important, and hopefully you can come and on these very same platforms and channels, come and enjoy that. So that's my commercial, Mr. Jeff Holman.
Oh, we're doing commercials?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Yours is a comedy.
Yeah, just go to stilltoken.com. You look us up on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to that. Still Toking with Still Toking Productions. You'll also find it that way. Okay. Yep. So you'll find it either way because I've checked that out. Toking with the Dead on Facebook. You can Google Jeff all you want. Good luck finding me. You'll probably find the other one, even though you spell it with a J.
A G?
A G. Did I say J? G?
You did.
Yeah, you did.
This is very late for him. He should be in bed by now.
No, that's me.
Well, no, it's good. No, I'm doing good. But I also wanted to mention we've been very, very busy as of late. The comic is ready. I have all the pages are put together. I'm just waiting on a couple of final things. So we can get that sent off to the printer. That's issue 6. Question. That's what we call it.
Question. Question.
And I've got nothing to do with it, but where do you guys see this?
There's the cover.
There's the cover of issue 6. Yeah.
Very proud of it. It's been a lot of work. Ben writes, I fix it. and shout out to Dal for the artwork. Fantastic.
Absolutely. So why did I do that? Wrong button. See, I hit the wrong button. I don't go full screen. I never go full screen. We want to thank Rachel for taking time out of her busy schedule to hang out and just laugh and tell some stories. I mean, I hope everybody enjoyed it. I did. I mean,
thank you for having me. It's been a true delight.
Thank you. We enjoyed it immensely.
Yes.
It's just it's so fun to hear these stories, you know. But like I said before, folks, this is the first show of 4 over the next 3 weeks where we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Little House on the Prairie with various cast members. So, you know, tune in if it's your thing. If it's not, tune in anyway. Yeah, tune in anyway. What the hell? What's wrong with you people?
Maybe you'll learn something like me that's never seen one.
I guarantee we will make you laugh one way or the other. Tune in.
Yeah. And on some nights, Jeff will make you spit, and I won't tell you which one or how. So with that being said,
I never spit.
I wasn't going there. Oh, where's the buttons? To all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you Friday at 8 p.m. This Friday at 8 p.m. Make sure you watch because the show's not on Wednesday night for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, so we're out of here. Bye.
Have a happy.
Peace.